Hey everybody, you're watching The Crown Peach Show. I'm your host, Chris, and with me today we have a very special guest, Miguel Garcia.
It's how we do. Return to the noise is how we do. How we do. You know it's how we do.
I'm sitting here with Miguel Garcia, a man who wears many, many hats, right?
Right. Including this one.
Including that one today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm honored that you're here. Seeing everything that you do. I know you're a busy man. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
So let's talk about where did you start with this journey? Because I've got here producer, an actor, you're a director, and a writer.
So the journey started many years ago when I wanted to start writing a script about a story that's loosely based on the way that I grew up. And that script came in and out of a drawer for a lot of years, taking it out, putting it back in. I think it even made its way into a trash can at one point. And
Wow.
I don't know, I kept on revising it and kind of gave up for a while, thinking that, it wasn't possible to make a movie based off the script that I'd written. And up until a year ago, I decided that, I was in my 40s and it's time to actually, do it and stop, worrying about the outcome, whether it was going to be successful or not. I just wanted to make it happen.
Now, do you think that's why it kept getting put back in the drawer, because you were doubtful of yourself and your ability?
I think, for the same reason that I guess a lot of aspiring actors, writers, directors, producers don't keep going, or they stop at certain points in their life because it's I don't know if it's a lack of confidence or just not knowing people, or just not having the confidence in doing the work, you know what I mean? But yes, it was all those things. And a year ago I introduced myself into the world of acting and doing background and just working on different free projects just to learn the industry. And then I started joining casting networks and started working getting actual paid work.
Yeah.
And I met Cuete Yesca, who's a rapper, and talked about the script with him. And I was working on a movie of his called The Trade, and there was a DP there by the name of James Carrillo, and we all discussed the script, and they liked the material. And from one day to the next, the house that I grew up in, Artesia, became a live set. So
wow.
It started just going fast, and here we are a year later with the project nearing its final scene and going into
now
post.
I've only seen this much of it, but I can tell you it gave me chills. I ran to my son's room, who's 22, and I was like, Mijo, look at this. Do you know what I mean? He was never in the gang life, but he too grew up part of his life in a gang neighborhood, as I did as well. And there's not even any dialogue in that trailer that you sent me, but just everything, the feeling, the vibe, the acting that goes on. Your lead actor staring at himself. You could tell he's looking at himself in a mirror. He's looking at himself. There's no mirror in that scene, but you can tell just from the emotion that he's looking at himself.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait. It's amazing. And I'm so proud of you that you took it out of the drawer.
Thank you.
Are so many, there's thousands of people, myself included, that have things just piling up and sitting in a drawer. Unfortunately, we listen to that little voice inside.
Yep.
And sometimes there's voices that are supposed to be our biggest supporters that are not. They call it in-house haters, but
in-house, out-house, they're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm proud of you, Miguel, that you stepped out and you shared it. And that's another thing that's scary, is sharing your ideas with the right people that are not going to steal them from you, right?
Exactly. Yes. This industry has, working in this industry has taught me a lot about who you can trust and, who you can't really trust. There's a lot of smiling faces, if you will, But I guess my biggest goal with this movie is that it serves as inspiration for another young filmmaker or anybody that has that insecurity or is listening to those voices and kind of doesn't pursue the dream they have. You really should, you know what I mean? You shouldn't let that script sit in a drawer for years or not be confident to start working on it. I mean, just write it, make it happen. You can shoot on an iPhone now and then just make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to serve as that, as hopefully inspiration for others to not delay so long in their dreams, you know. So
Yeah, it's a like a self injustice.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It really is.
Yes.
So, working as an actor, what is the first thing you worked on, paid or not paid? Who cares? The first thing you did.
First thing I did is I showed up on set to play a convict on a Michael J. White movie.
Okay.
I think it's actually called As Good as It Gets. They changed the title, so it's As Good as It Gets. It's on Amazon now. But they pulled me out of the background and they put me into another room where they had me play a convict that was disguised as a prison guard, with all the SWAT gear and everything. And I was put in a room with Tom Berenger and Michael J. White. This is like no experience. I didn't even know what the setup, anything at all.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there with, two, very known actors doing a scene with them. And
what did that feel like?
it was pretty, it was good up until I didn't know that they did individual shots once you're done with filming the entire scene. That I know now because, I do it myself on my project. But back then I didn't know anything about the industry.
Wow.
And I'll share this story with you real quick. When it came time to do my individual movement on camera, I froze. Like I just lost it. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't deliver my line. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. A stunt coordinator came and he like kind of nudged me and said, "Hey, like just slow down," and walked me through what to do. And I got it done. But I mean, that's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
That's how you learn. Had I not gone through that experience, shown up that day, replied to the casting, went through the experience of at least not knowing, and that just got me prepared and ready for the next time. So that was the very
I'm
first
so happy
thing.
to hear that you froze on camera.
Yes, I
because
froze on
before
camera.
this, I told you my story.
Yes, I heard that.
So
It happens to the best of us. Like, and it's stuff like that builds you. I think it helps build even your character. You know what I mean? Because you go through that. You could either go home and say, you know what, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like I'm not cut out for this. It was too embarrassing. The producer in that room, all those directors are not going to want to hire me anymore. But who cares? Like, a million people mess up on set. It's not a world of perfection. It's a world of art. And in order to get to the final masterpiece, if you will, you got to go through a lot of different stages, and then you got to don't
sharpen
quit.
a lot of pencils.
Do not quit.
I love that. It's the world of art, not the world of perfection.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to keep that with us. Okay, so you get pulled from background and put right up to the front lines. What is your next gig after that?
The next one, oh man, oof. I think it was a pilot for Hulu. A gentleman by the name of Orlando Alvarado, something like that. He was putting together a pilot, and I did that, and that was not paid. So I used to do a lot of not unpaid work just to learn, right? So I used to spend more money on getting an Uber to Burbank or to Glendale, wherever they were filming, just so I can be on set and experience. And you know what? I'm glad I did that because I got to meet a lot of different people.
Yeah.
I got to be on set, watch sound, watch camera, learn the terminology. It helped a lot in putting together my own film because I understood the basics of it.
Yeah.
I'm still not an expert, right? My actors are my actors, my camera guy's my camera guy. You know what I mean? But when it comes to, the basic world of production and putting together film, at least I understood that part of it. So that was like a huge, way for me to, just like an inspiration for me to get started and not hold back so long, right? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how, if this is going to look right. I don't know if the actor's going to like, just do it.
It was an inspiration, I'm sure, but looking at you and talking to you, I feel like you were just the undercover writer, director. Do you know what I mean? Just
I
going
feel like
through,
that
like
now.
You were just undercover at those auditions.
Yeah, and I still will show up on set to play background. Everybody's like, a lot of people say don't do background, elevate yourself, do more stuff, more lead roles and stuff like that. But I have a love for background just because I remember showing up for the first time and doing background. I remember being on set, being on Warner Brothers, being Paramount Studios, or just being anywhere on a set for the first time. And just having that pride and that joy of being on set. So even now, even though I'm doing my own stuff, I'll still show up and either undercover.
You're undercover. You're in the background, just you seeing everything from the outside in.
I'm the sleeper of movies, of film. Yeah.
But how did you go from? Because you grew up in Artesia, correct?
Yes.
To acting, like your first, even if it's not paid. How'd you go from that? Like, what sparked that fire in you?
To like the world of acting
to learn,
and the film. Right? Well, as a kid, I grew up watching a lot of TV. You know, that was my first love, is television and music. So I was a kid that was alone a lot, you know what I mean? And I embellished my world into television, like I Love Lucy, the Andy Griffith Show, the Munsters, like all that black and white television back then, watching it in the morning. And I didn't just watch it to watch it just because there was nothing else on TV, but I would like study like everything that they were doing, why they were doing what doing, why Fred was saying this, why Ethel was saying that, why Ricky. And then I started learning about Ricky Ricardo and him being, you know, a Latino in the first one with studios, and the first one introduced 2 cameras into filming. And it didn't stop from there. Like there's not one week where I don't watch several movies still. Like it's just a love of television. It's like I don't know how to describe it sometimes. It's it's almost like you drown in the movie.
It's definitely an outlet.
Yes, it's an outlet. And
if you have a good imagination, you can transport yourself there.
You
do you know what I mean? And you can see. Are you an only child?
No, I have a sister.
You have a sister. Are you guys like, you know, how much age gap between you two?
1 year. We're actually born. I was born in January. She was born in December.
1 year, but you spent a lot of time alone. Why was that? Did you get on her nerves?
No, just the family, the whole family environment. You know what I mean? Dad wasn't there.
Everyone
Mom was
doing their
always
own
working.
thing.
Everyone doing their own thing. So my world was like TV. That was my babysitter. Was television. So.
Okay, I hear you. That's awesome. So what's the first movie you can remember watching? I know you said I Love Lucy, and you were aging us.
Oh,
You were
yeah, I
aging
know,
both of us,
I
yeah,
am. I Love Lucy.
Don't get me in this conversation.
They still show it, so we could
they
we could be watching like
We watch
recaps.
it in color.
Yeah, we watch it in color. The later I Love Lucy when they're living in the woods somewhere. Yeah. The first movie I ever watched, I don't know, it's probably gonna be like Wizard of Oz or something like that. You know what I mean? E.T.
Yeah.
Those are like the first full features of going to the actual drive-in and watching them on the big screen.
Ooh,
right?
the drive-in.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's still a couple drive-ins around here.
There's still,
Did you go to the one on Beach Boulevard when you were a kid?
No, we went to
I think it was
the
Huntington Beach.
Paramount.
Oh, y'all were bougie with it. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
yes, yeah. We did the one where you couldn't sneak into that one.
Oh, no. We went to the one where you could sneak in the trunk.
I still remember sneaking people into the trunk.
Yeah. Did you ever entertain acting when you were in high school, like theater?
No, my world of art came to a stop when I was introduced to like the whole gang culture and growing up in that environment. So it put a stop to not just art, but everything. It put a stop to sports, it put a stop to music, like it put a stop to everything in my life. And then I was invested in that for many years up until, I was like, I think 25 or 26 when I was finally like clear of that. But even then, I went to college late, I got an education late. And when I went to college, I took a lot of music and film classes. But again, the fear, right? The voice that you're not going to be able to make it as a filmmaker. You're not going to be able to make it as an actor, as a musician.
Yeah.
So I changed my course and I got the degree in business and I went the business route and I worked in the corporate world. My regular 9 to 5 is still, in the corporate world. And I wish it wasn't. I wish I would have just took the gamble back then and got the degrees in film and got the degrees in music or whatever, and just pursued it that way, early on instead of later in life. But hey, things happen for a reason. I'm here now, so
it's
that's
never
all that
too
matters,
late.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Holy moly! So you still work in the corporate world?
I still have my regular 9 to 5. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Something tells me that's not going to be.
I hope not. I hope not.
At all. Okay, so you write this script. It's in and out of the drawer for years. You finally take it out, and it just takes on a life of its own. Take me through that process of conception. We know took years, but bringing it to life, like giving it, CPR and bringing it to life.
I can tell you when I wrote it, it wasn't even in like the proper script format. Like I wrote, like I was writing an essay, like I was writing a book, right? Like way too much information. I didn't know how to let characters build like on I didn't know how to let actors build on the character just by reading a script and script format. So I would just write it all, nonstop, like I said, like an essay.
Were you old school, like pencil and paper, or
no? I still did it on the computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the changes maybe in pencil, but not the actual script. And I just started, like I said, working with different people, talking to different people about the material, and they liked it, and they introduced me to actors. Like Danny De La Paz, one of the first big actors that was on the movie, and I met Brian Saenz, who's the lead actor, and he was actually like a last minute hired because I hired a lead who we kind of felt wasn't, the right. Actually, let's cut that. Can we cut that?
Yeah, we will cut that out. We're not going to give him no glory and we're going to cut that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Just say you met Brian.
Where do you want me to pick
where
it
you
back
met Brian?
Okay. So Brian came to me from
And Brian's your lead actor, correct?
Brian Saenz is the lead actor.
Stick around because you guys will get to meet him in the second half of this.
Yes. So James Carrillo, who was the first DP working on this project, introduced me to Brian, and he came on set, and we shot the first scenes of this movie.
So you met him the day you started shooting?
I met him the day I started shooting the film.
Wow.
Yes, yeah.
What was it about him that just you knew right away?
It was just a recommendation from the DP.
So you trusted the DP so much.
I trusted the DP. He said, I got the right guy for this. Just don't hire anybody else. I got the right guy for this. And he showed up on set, and he was the right look, the right fit, the right attitude. Everything was right about the guy. So.
Yeah, for sure. And we're not just saying that because he's sitting over there.
No.
But I know he...
Wink, wink.
I know, right? Pay me later.
I know, right?
But yeah, it's from just the trailer, like I said again, from just the trailer, no sound, there's no audio. There's audio, but there's no dialogue at all. He embodies the character. And I don't even know the whole character, the whole story, but it gave me chills. And just a little side note, I got to audition opposite of Miguel and opposite of Brian. Which was really cool. It was really fun. My very first audition, and you guys made it very easy breezy. You guys were the last two. I was done.
We were the last two.
You were the last two on that day. I was ready to leave and go eat. I was like, I'm done with this already. But you guys came in, and you both did really, really good. So
it's funny because I would have not known that was your first audition. I thought you were a casting director just reading that day with us. So I didn't even know you were actually there reading.
Thought I was a casting director, so I am an actress.
Yeah. You play the role of a casting director very well.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I've gotten that. A couple people have told me that already. And I'm like, well, I'm there to help the film Sister Margaret in any way possible because we spoke about this on the phone. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of artists send me their music and my DMs, and I have a lot of short films, and it might not be my cup of tea, but I respect the art, I respect the creativity, and that you're doing it. Yeah. I admire you that you pulled it out of your drawer and you brought it to life. Yeah. So I think I've also seen you do some background on the Mayans. Yes. Is that right?
Yes. I did episode 3 and episode 7. So episode 7 was the creeper scene where he gets taken out, and that was, working with him is amazing. Working on that set, working with those actors, was a lot different than the other stuff that I've done. Mm-hmm. So it's, even though it's just background, a lot of people say, oh, it's just background, so what? Working with them was like the biggest take of all that. That whole experience was awesome. So
I think the people that say it's just background really don't know everything it takes to bring a movie or story or show to life. Yeah. I did makeup off and on in Hollywood, and I did makeup for a documentary about alopecia. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, not only do I love movies in Hollywood, but I respect the process because it's not just papered, to TV. Yeah. There's so many things, and everyone plays a key role. Yeah.
And I got some good screen time on that. And I did this food too. I got screen time on there. Mm-hmm. And it's all about, you treat it like a professional job, right? When you go, a lot of people are there just to get the notoriety, the fame, and they're begging the director or the producer to put them on camera, and as long as you maintain professional. And I'm just saying this because it happened to me, right? So being there on those 2 shows, they pulled me out, and they're like, hey, with some other guys, they're like, hey, we want you, and you. Mm-hmm. And they told us what to do, and we got a lot of screen time. And you got all the inside haters, just staring and looking. Yeah. But those are the opportunities you get when you show up to play just background, right? Yeah. You don't know what's going to happen. Just show up and have a good time. And, like I said, keep yourself open and professional. You don't know what's going to happen from those things. So
you never know. Yeah. So since this journey began, what is something that you've learned that you've been able to take to your film, to your production now?
I guess being humble about, we're blessed to be able to do this, right? It's a blessing to be able to do a show like yours. It's a blessing to be able to write a script, work in making your own film, work with different actors, right? It's a blessing, but I think in the beginning, and I'll admit this, you're kind of like, oh, I'm a director, I'm in charge, I have to have things a certain way. Mm-hmm. these guys have to do things this way and it's my way or the highway, right? I kind of like maybe found that for a quick minute, but talking to different people and getting advice from a lot of different people in the industry, I was able to kind of pull myself out of that mindset and accept myself as a storyteller, right? I see myself right now as a storyteller. I could write, direct, produce, yes, those are labels.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm a storyteller. This art doesn't happen without the work of a lot of people. So it's a collaboration. You know, the actors have to feel your script. They have to feel the character. You know, they have to bring the story to life. As much as background brings it to life, as much as the makeup artist brings it to life, as much as everybody on set makes that project happen. You know, it's not just me. It's a collaborative thing with a lot of different people.
It's
so,
everybody. And I feel like if everyone's treated important, then they're going to take that project as an important piece of their life. Do you know what I mean?
And then no one, if you go about it the arrogant way and treat people like crap, no one's going to want to work with you. So
yeah, that part. And word spreads so fast.
Word spreads really quick.
Right?
So, yeah.
Especially around the Mexicanos. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We like to talk.
Yes, they like to cheese me out. Like that Miguel, like nope. And right now I have the privilege of mentoring with Manny Jimenez, Senior, the Suspect Entertainment. So he's my mentor right now, and like the things I'm learning from him are just they're overwhelming. You know what I mean? And I'll share this real quick about him. Like, so when I was in high school, I used to watch Channel 11 News at night, and he came on one time as like the guy who's getting all these cholos into Hollywood and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I want to be part of Suspect. I want to be part of this world. Like, I don't know how to do it. And when we premiered the trailer at Chicano Hollywood's event a couple of weeks ago, I mean, that's the first hand that I shook when I got off the stage. And that to me, like, it means the world that he's
like a
now
full circle moment
it's
for
a full
you.
circle moment from being in high school until now. That was it for me. Like, it's just moving forward from now on. With the right mentorship and learning the right things, how to excel in this business the right way. Right? Not taking away the financial aspects, the fame aspects. And, like I said earlier, for me, it's really about the love of the art, you know what I mean? And making that art happen and just doing it the right way.
How do you think one would be able to stay in that mindset you just said right now?
It's hard, right? Because like you said earlier, at least it happened now, we're aging ourselves, but I don't know, maybe it didn't happen earlier because of the way I would have handled it, the way I would have made a mess of it, Now I have the maturity, I think, to make things, to accept the blessing, to be grateful, to be humble about it. You know what I mean? I don't think I would have done that back then. And even now, I can let a lot of things get to my head and, the people that I've worked with and be arrogant about certain things. But, it's discipline to stay grounded.
I think you're totally right.
Yeah.
Like, you're at a maturity level now where you can handle everything good and bad that comes your way from this project. Now, we spoke a little bit on the phone yesterday, and you shared with me that you're already on to the next. You already have stuff either written down or in there ready to come out.
I can literally go off script right now and just start like another project without a script, without anything. Just give me a crew and go, actors. But I do have 2 more stories ready to go. So as soon as Jumped In wraps in, then I want to move on to the next one.
You're already on to the next one.
Hopefully the gentleman sitting over there will come along for the ride.
Again, pay us later.
Pay us later. But.
Yeah. Okay, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. And during this break, you're going to get to see what I got to experience yesterday, a trailer of Jumped In. And we're going to bring the lead actor on set with us. We'll be right back.
Only wanna shit share with y'all like a bird of a bear for y'all.
And we are back from the break. I hope you guys enjoyed that trailer of Jumped In. With us today, we have the writer, producer, actor, all of the above, Miguel Garcia. And hopped in with us is Brian. How do you pronounce your last name, Brian?
Science.
Science.
So it's like the subject science, but just with the Z at the end. Like
Science, yes.
Science, yeah.
And Brian plays the lead in Jumped In.
Yeah.
We got to hear earlier how you got jumped into the movie.
Yeah.
Like just thrown on set, literally, right?
Yeah.
We heard Miguel's perspective, but what did that feel like for you?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it was definitely like, because I didn't really like grow up around like that kind of environment or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just like you said, I was kind of like, I was jumped in.
You
I should showing up on set. I see a whole bunch of like, and he used like the real deal guys. So like, his friends from like, neighborhood and stuff like that. So like these guys are like full, like tatted up,
Legit.
everything legit. So I'm just like, oh man, like what did I put myself into?
I'm in it, huh?
Yeah.
Who was the one that recommended you for this movie to Miguel? Who was that?
Yeah, so just kind of like he mentioned a gentleman by the name of James Carrillo.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been working with him. He's from where I'm from over there in San Bernardino. So I kind of just started linking up with him, working on little stuff with him and stuff like that. And he got to know me, and then he was like, hey, Brian, he called me up one night, and he's just like, hey, we got this thing, and we're going to shoot it in like a couple of days. You in?
Wow.
Like, we got a lead role, this and that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Like, come on, like, let's do it. So, because I had just finished theater. I had finished the show, so I was like, okay, what's next? Kind of thinking. That kind of just came literally like a week later after I wrapped that show. So I was just like, oh, okay, perfect.
You were still on fire. You're so hungry for more.
Yeah.
Now, is this role your first like lead role in a movie?
Yeah, first lead role in film. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had done other previous stuff, but just like supporting stuff, like kind of things like that. Obviously, lead in theater and stuff like that. But this was my first
your first
film lead role
in a film.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, did they invite you to set and then send you the script, or did you get the script when you got there?
I got the script basically when I got there. Yeah, so I mean, I had kind of got like a synopsis of it, like a little bit. We kind of did we talk? I don't know.
We were talking. I think I sent it to James, and then James sent it to you.
Yeah, and I think he was just James kind of gave me like a quick little rundown of like, okay, this is it's like the story about this kid, this and that, and then
wow.
So I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it, and just taking a chance and trusting James that he's going to give me like a good thing there. So yeah, and then I showed up and then obviously once I got there, then we started talking more. Me and Miguel sat down, started talking a little bit more about like the whole thing and all that. So, and then that's when I was like even more hooked.
What's your lead character's name? Well,
Angel.
your character's name?
Angel, aka Mr. Silent.
Mr. Silent.
Mr. Silent?
Yeah.
Silent. It took us so long to come up with what your street moniker was going to be.
Yeah, his character is very quiet. Doesn't speak a lot, shows a lot rather than speaking.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately what film is about, right? You want to show it, not say it.
Well, it's definitely what you can pull off. Let me just say that because, again, I got to audition with both these guys. My very first audition was a great experience.
Yeah.
Miguel, you were great, but when this one sat down, like, I'm old enough to be your mom, bro, okay? So I was like, this travieso, like, he don't really want to be here. Maybe he doesn't want to be at this audition.
Yeah.
The scene called for someone that didn't want to be where he had to be.
Exactly.
And your body language, everything you did, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the movie, but I do know that everyone in that room talked about it, the way you used your whole body.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that you probably bring that to this movie, Jumped In, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I focused with my training. I was very fortunate at a very young age. After I got out of high school, I found a teacher, a mentor. Very old school. He introduced me to a lot of these physical actors like James Dean, Marlon Brando. He said, watch these guys, watch how they speak with their body, how they visually show it. And that's one thing he nailed in my head, like early on, is like film is about visuals. Say less, do more, and try to say it without saying it kind of thing. So
I think that's a message we can use everywhere. Like everyone in the world needs to hear that.
Yeah.
Say less and do more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always say, at the end of the interviews, I always say, kiss it. Like, keep it simple, sexy.
Yeah.
Like, just short and sweet. Do you know what I mean? But I like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of like that's what I brought onto this role, once I started getting more into the character, and he started sending me scripts. Like, okay, let's maybe cut this, just kind of like show it more, like kind of like I'm saying, just. But.
And how does that make you feel as the writer that the lead actor is like, can we cut that out?
Well, see, that's
honestly.
Honestly. Well, look, in the beginning, yeah, like I told you, it was like kind of like, no, it's going to be this way or that way or my way. That's it. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad that I learned very early on how this project gets done, right? Mm-hmm. They have to feel it as much as I do. Yeah. They make the story come alive, right? So I work the same way with all the actors, not just Brian, on this project and in future projects. Mm-hmm. I want their input. I want them to tell me if something's not feeling right. I want them to change it. I want them to tell me what they feel about the character, if he should do things a certain way, if the location's not right. I mean, I'm very open to all that. They can share it. I might use it, I might not, but I still want them to all tell me how they feel. And a lot of guys on set said, well, it's however you want it. Yeah. It's your way. Just tell me how you want it. No, whatever you say. I'm like, oh, well, come on, also tell me what you think,
I like how you said, I might not use it, but the other thing is too, you might not use it, but it feels good when they're comfortable enough to, to express that to you, like, hey, it might, or bring their idea up,
that says a lot. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no, you're good.
I remember how Brian would tell me, I don't want to cross the line or anything here, but I just wanted to see about this and that. I'm like, it's okay, dude. Just tell me.
That's another thing that was instilled in me is trust. You got to trust the person that you're working with, that they're not gonna like shoot you down, or they're not gonna say, hey, that's a dumb idea or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That says a lot about Miguel too. Is not only is he writing, but he's also producing and directing this whole thing. He has every right to be like, no, this is the way I want to do it, my way or the highway. He's the complete opposite, so I think that says a lot about his artistry. Just being willing to, to listen and just like me ramble, like I just ramble a lot, like this and that, so it's cool to just have him like.
So Mr. Silent rambles for real in real life.
Rambles,
in real life, I don't see that. I think that you have a lot of like ideas in there. Do you know what I mean? That you want to get out.
Yeah.
And you're young. Mm-hmm. I could tell when I seen you at the audition. I was like, he could be my son. Like, he's so like young, but you look even younger than your age, which is going to work for you for sure in Hollywood. Yeah. So Miguel already has ideas for you with his next projects. Yeah. What about you? Do you have anything outside of Miguel's projects coming up?
Yeah, but I mean, especially with doing this, I've kind of started to meet a lot of more people, just networking a lot. So.
Ooh.
Let me find them.
He's sitting right there.
In your ear, Brian. So, there are a couple of things that are kind of starting to, steam up a little bit. People are calling me like, hey, would you be interested in this and that? And, just from seeing like stuff, just the trailer too, like you said, a lot of people saw that trailer and they're like,
wow.
Like, who's
who is this kid?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? No, for sure.
Yeah.
Because if I wouldn't have met you at the audition, that's the first thing I would have been like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
Because like I
kind of came out of nowhere either. Like, because I was down there. I was down there studying, training, and all that stuff. And now I came down here and started showing, like you said, networking and stuff like that. So. Now,
do you feel it's the right time for you?
Yeah, so I definitely feel it's the right time because, like I said, I did all that training down there. I did 4 years with that mentor. So I was just, studying, and then eventually the birds got to leave the nest, and
or we'll kick you out
and apply what you learned, kind of thing. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest rewarding things with this film too, is just putting all those things that I've like been studying,
bringing all that to this film,
and then that's just like so much fun, just to like know that it didn't just go in one ear
and out the other. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you've done theater, and this is your first lead in a film. Mm-hmm. Is this like you caught the acting bug now, and like this is what you want to do, or do you have like hopes of directing, producing, writing as well?
Well, yeah, I mean that's possibly in the future. Like my mentor and my teacher, you'd always say, "Hey, Brian, if you don't make it as an actor, you can make it as a director or whatever." Because what I would do there is we would shoot the scenes, and then I would like do the camera work. I would do the editing, so I kind of learned everything about it. I learned like the lighting, you heard me talking about the low end on the bathroom and stuff like that. So I know all those technicalities. So I do eventually maybe have the thought of like directing, but I obviously want to get a lot more experience before, especially on sets and stuff like that.
A big birdie told me that you're the one that edited the trailer.
Oh yeah.
He actually put that whole thing together. So
he put the whole thing together.
Well, once he said that song, the Delphonic song, I mean, I love that song. I love the Delphonic. So once he gave me that thing, I was like, okay, boom. And I kind of started picturing it like, okay, it'll escalate here, do this, that kind of thing. So
it was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was like there was no dialogue and there was no mirror in the shot.
Yeah.
And I could tell that you were looking at yourself.
No.
You know, and I don't really run very often, but I got up and like ran my phone to my son, like, Mijo, look, you know what I mean? Look at this, you know, and he is not of that life, but he knows enough about it that he was like, wow, I want to see this. What's it called? And like jumped in. Do you know what I mean? Like, hello, it's amazing. And it's loosely based off of Miguel's life.
Mm-hmm.
Did that give you any kind of pressure knowing that it was like loosely based off of his life experiences?
Well, it gave me comfort that he was the one that was directing it.
Yeah.
That he was, you know, directing.
Good way to take it.
Yeah. So, you know, like, you know, just, like, as long as I have him there, like I said, I wasn't very familiar with how, like, what certain things that they did and all that stuff. And just having him there to, like, he lived it, this is his thing. So that's why I started getting, like, wordy, like, questions. That's one thing, like, this and like, what does this word mean? What is this, you know?
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. So
No, that's okay. Look at Miguel's face. It's like, he's not lying.
Yeah, so he would call me, and he called me one time, and he said, I think there's a typo in the script or something like that. And I'm like, what's the typo? And he said, well, it says leva, because, you know, in the 90s, you're on the leva. You know,
Yes.
like, no, Brian, that's actually that's terminology that was used back then, you know, within that.
Funny.
So that's why it was very vital that, you know, he was there to, you know.
And that comfort that you felt comfortable asking him or saying, this is a typo.
Yeah.
It just speaks that, you know, not just as an actor, but it speaks to his character as a person, because whether he works with me again or goes and works with other directors and producers, which I hope that he does, they're going to learn that he's not just invested into the acting part. Like me and him get together and talk on the phone week by week this whole year. I go to his house, he comes to mine, we meet up, we discuss all the scenes, we go through the footage. I mean, this guy is like really, really involved in this project. So, you know, that's an amazing thing to have, you know, from an actor.
And what made you trust the person that recommended him so much? You know, like, what was it? Did you know the gentleman very well?
No, actually, no. Like, those people that I met were just people that I had just recently met on another movie set. So I didn't. I just they knew the material. They knew the basis of the story. They knew that the basis of the character. And when they said, "Don't worry, he has a theater background. He's the right fit," I was like, I just trusted their. I mean, he could have been the wrong fit. I
Dang.
And that was our day of shoot. Like, that was our first day of shooting when he rolled up, and he was the right fit.
It was a gamble, and it paid
God.
off. Yeah, it paid off for sure. It seems like you guys are not only working on the film together, but you guys became friends. You think that's he's sitting right there, but I mean, you could just like one wink for yes, two for no.
Did we?
Yeah, I mean, because we've been working on this for quite some time. What, like a year or so? Like
it's
a year
been
or
a
so.
year. It'll be close in October. It'll be a year.
And like he mentioned, you know, we get together, we meet up at Starbucks, or you know, we discuss, you know, this and that. So we kind of had that creative relationship, you know, with all that stuff. So yeah, it's
you
cool.
guys seem like big brother, little brother. Like, be careful.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what was the highlight for you shooting this movie, Jumped In?
I think he mentioned him, Danny De La Paz. Just getting to meet him and, you know, seeing his previous stuff. You know, he did Boulevard Nights, American Me, and, you know, I think that day I showed up on set. It was just such a dope, like, collaborative thing that we had going. Him, you know, with Miguel and everybody, we were just kind of communicating. At one point, me and him are just talking about, like, the scene, and you know, he's giving me ideas, I'm giving him ideas, kind of thing. He's just super open. And I just remember driving home that night and like
it felt good.
It felt good. Like, you know, that's one of the, I think the highlight is just working with in that scene and in that moment. And like I said, you know,
I can't wait to see all of the scenes.
Yeah.
And all of the moments for sure. For sure. Now, Miguel, what made you go back to, you know, the streets, the neighborhood, and recruit people to be in your film, which I think is amazing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, from the time I wrote it, I knew that, and I had told the guys that I grew up with, you know, that I wanted to use them. If I ever do this, I'm coming here, and you guys are going to be the background. I didn't want to go into Hollywood or tap into, you know, casting agencies to pull background or pull this person, pull that person. I was going to give them the first opportunity. And I shot the entire film there in the city where I grew up in Artesia as a tribute to that city. I mean, that's where I grew up. I love that city. And I mean, mostly everybody, like Brian said, was like the real deal. They got the guys from that city.
Authentic.
I didn't have to tell them how to do certain scenes or tell them what to do. That was just like so natural. That's the good part about having the authentic people, if you will, from the neighborhood, because they know the life. I don't have to really go into too much detail about, I need you to do this, give me some more expression, or I want you to feel this more, this and that. They're natural. It's natural, raw talent.
Yeah, it was just there.
And that helps me, because like I said, I'm watching, even when they're not on set or not doing the thing, I'm just watching them, studying them, how they talk, how they hold their head up high, how they stand, so having that authenticity really helped me, try to
having the legit people right there.
The authenticity.
Yeah, we all like the word, but we all can't. Authenticity. It takes a lot of, don't get Botox and try to say that word. Don't do it. It's not going to happen. You're going to be drooling or something. Okay, so you didn't even have to audition for this movie. That's freaking amazing.
No.
What other movies besides Sister Margaret have you auditioned for?
That's
it.
Yeah, I got this. I auditioned for that. Well, I mean, I do have a commercial agent, so I do audition, like I do self tapes and stuff like that for commercials and stuff like that. But as far as like films, no, I haven't really auditioned.
Wow. So Sister Margaret, one would say that was your first audition as well.
That was actually my first in-person audition. Yeah.
Holy moly, give me 5. We did it. We survived. You didn't fall though.
Yeah, I think that was my first. Well, I guess, for film. But like I said, I did it for theater and stuff like that. I did table reads and stuff like that for theater.
Yeah, but that's different.
Film, it's different.
It's you're sitting in front of a table of people that are just staring at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
See? That's so cool.
That's a good acting.
Now that I think about it, that was my first in-person.
Wow.
In-person.
So you mentioned a commercial agent. Have you done commercials?
No, I haven't. It's tough. Because you got to pretend that you're eating a burger. You got to pretend that you're doing this.
I think I believe it is tough, but let me say that you don't have that commercial look.
Right, exactly.
That's the honest to God truth.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I had gotten that agent through my mentor, because he was doing stuff, and he just kind of threw me in there just to get experience with self-taping and stuff like that. But no, you got to have like a certain prestigious kind of thing,
Well, you just can't stand out more than the hamburger, Brian. Okay, that's what it is. Like, people are not going to be like, "What was he eating? Was that a burrito?" Like, they're not going to remember. That's the thing, is that you're gonna, let's just say, you glow more than the cheeseburger would, even if it is In-N-Out. Yeah. Okay, which I know you love.
Oh my God, if they give me an In-N-Out commercial, that would be my dream.
You're all In-N-Out for life, right? Yeah. For life.
Life supply of In-N-Out.
Now, are you an only child?
No, I have a brother and a sister.
Okay, where do you fall in the brother and sister?
I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest.
Is there any other entertainers in your family?
No. My family's very traditional. I mean, they're from Zacatecas. They're so nothing artistic going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, but
where do you get this look from, which I love? It's so greaser, pachuco, just.
Well, I did with all the roles that I do, I kind of take a little bit from them. So I in theater in high school, I did a show called The Outsiders. Yeah. Which is like greasers and stuff like that. And when I was studying for that character, I started listening to the music. I started doing research. I'm like, I really like this. I really like this style. I really like this character. Yeah. And that's kind of where I just started. One day I would show up. Okay, I'm my character. Okay, I'm gonna roll up my jeans. But then I would let me not put him back down. Let me just keep doing that.
Just rock it.
I liked it, and so that's kind of where I started getting into that, and then obviously the whole history behind the whole pachucos and stuff like that. I wanted to express that. I wanted to show that. Yeah. In any way that I can.
You wear it well. It works for you. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't work for everybody. Yeah. I couldn't pull it off, but it works for you for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this has been great. But I have one last question for each of you guys. If you could work with anybody, Miguel, in the future, who would it be?
Actor-wise?
Yeah.
Oh man. Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes. Absolutely. What about you, Brian? Who would you love to work opposite of?
Or with? Man, I would have to be somebody that's not alive. It would have to be Steve McQueen.
Okay.
Steve McQueen. It's.
That's it for you.
Yeah, that's like the cream of the crop. Like, okay, I wanted to be like this kind of.
That's awesome.
That'd be pretty cool if I got to do a scene across him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I lied. One more question, just because I want to know. What advice would you give someone, Miguel, that wants to be in your position, either now or later in life?
I guess don't let your that little voice in the back of your head tell you that you can't do it or it's not possible, because you know, as long as you have the ganas, you have that drive to do something, you can make it happen. When you want to do something, you'll make it happen. You know, there's a lot of camera crews out there. The industry is full of people that will make your dream happen. Just pick up the pen, write something. You know, get yourself out in the industry, work 3 jobs. Don't be too prideful to start at the bottom, and then grind hard every single day.
Absolutely. I love that. Brian, same thing. What advice would you give to a young person watching this right now that wants to be
an actor?
Yeah, an actor.
I would say do some theater. Do some theater. That's the perfect training. It's voluntary. It's literally free training. You know, and you get to learn a lot from, ideas, spinning back and forth between people. Try to get into theater, even if it's a super small theater, just start doing that. And I think that'll slowly help you transition and get that confidence.
Yeah.
Because you need that confidence to, get up there and, do the things. So I would say for any actor that wants to do acting,
start with theater.
do a little bit of theater in there. Throw some theater in there.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you know this or not, but he inspired me to, during this whole thing, working at 9 to 5, directing the movie, writing or whatever, I put myself through acting school, a theater-based acting school, just to understand where he was coming from.
I love that.
The stuff he does, so.
I love that. I still think he's like undercover, like writer director, like he just undercover out there.
I'm just thinking around everywhere.
Just taking notes.
Taking notes on things.
Yeah, because I did a little bit of background too, like kind of like what he was talking about. I had done that a little bit too, just to see like what, bringing the A team, bringing the B team, just
what to expect.
Learn all the little terminologies, all those on-set kind of dialogue, and I would ask the sound guy, like, "Hey, what microphone are you using?" Or what do you use?
They're like, this kid.
Logic Pro, and they get excited. They get excited because nobody ever asked like the crew or the people like what do they do? But I want to know that stuff. Like I'm intrigued by.
See, I just want to know what the craft service people are bringing in. What's on the menu tomorrow? You know what I mean?
Get all the protein bars. Get
all the bananas. Where can people follow you, Miguel?
On Instagram, just my name, Miguel A Garcia, Facebook, the same. And I think that's all I have. That's all I have right now.
Okay. Does the movie have its own page yet?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Actually, no, it does on YouTube. So Jumped In Film is on YouTube, and then TikTok, Jumped In Film. I take that back. It does.
Awesome. Okay, so Jumped In Film.
On TikTok and YouTube, and then myself, it's just Instagram and Facebook, Miguel A Garcia.
Perfect. And where can people follow you, Brian?
Just I guess on Instagram, just Brian_SAENZ. That's really the main thing that I try to stay away from TikTok, because TikTok
it's addicting.
Yeah, like I never got into it, and I'm glad I haven't got into it, because I hear things of just people just scrolling through. So just mainly Instagram.
Yeah, you fall down like the rabbit hole, and then you're like 30 minutes in, like, what am I watching? What am I watching?
Start watching puppies and stuff.
Yeah, right?
Like,
you're like, I was looking for a recipe. How am I like 4 puppy videos in? Yeah. Or kittens. That's the one I get stuck on. I'm like, oh my God, how cute.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for being here. You will both be here again. See, everyone saw you guys nod, so it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure. The movie is set to come out when again?
End of this year.
End of this year. Okay, so end of 2023. We will have these 2 guys back on separately or together. I don't care. But as long as you guys come back on before the movie, and hey, we'll bring you guys back on after the movie as well. This has been the Crown Peach Show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you send me a message, keep it clean and kiss it. Keep it simple, sexy.
That's how we do. Return to the noise is how we do. How we do. You know it's how we do. Here goes. Kick off your shoes, relax your feet. Keep your iceberg, step tail, bring the heat. Classes in session, everybody take a seat.